Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You may have noticed that I haven't posted a video in a couple years, and that's not because I ever stopped loving making videos. I actually still love watching them, and I've always thought about how much I miss making them. So finally I decided to just get back into it and try it again. I wanted to give it another try, and that's why I got this backdrop here so that I wouldn't have any background issues. So I hope you guys don't mind the backdrop. I know some people like a more natural, like what is normally in your room type of background, but you don't want to see what's behind this. It's like a door and a couch and my dogs. This is like our spare room. Anyway, today's look is just a very like dark, smoky, kind of glittery with a kind of dark nude lip. Big lashes. They're big for me. I usually don't wear lashes this big, but when I see them on camera, they look kind of normal, so we'll go with it. I'm liking them though. Once I got them on, they're not bad. So if you want to learn how to get this look, then just keep on watching. I'm going to start by priming my skin. I'm using the Nivea Men Post Shave Balm and applying this all over my face. This isn't your traditional primer, but it's super lightweight and I feel like it keeps my makeup on all day long, so I've been really loving it. Then next for foundation, I'm using the Rimmel Lasting Finish Foundation in Ivory. And this foundation has been an obsession. I cannot go a day without using it, and when I try to use a different foundation, I just keep going back. This is actually the second bottle I've purchased in the last 4 or 5 months. Probably about $7 at Ulta, and it's just the best foundation I've used in a long time. So I'm taking that and blending that into my skin using a Real Techniques blending sponge, or I'm not even sure what this is called, but it's the orange Real Techniques sponge. Then going in with concealer, I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in Fair Neutral. I'm drawing little triangles underneath my eyes to add extra brightness. Then also adding some between my brows and on my chin. And using the same technique, I'm just taking this sponge and just pouncing it along my skin to blend it in. Next, I'm using the RCMA No Color Powder, and I actually like to put it to a smaller container to make it easier to use because I feel like the original packaging isn't the greatest. And I'm using an M438 tapered blending brush to blend that on top of my eyelids to set the concealer. And then I'm using that Real Techniques sponge and using the same powder to bake my under eyes just so they don't crease later in the day. And I'm also adding that onto my chin, and again adding more under my nose because the area around my nose seems to crease a lot worse than anywhere else on my face. Then I'm going to start filling in my eyebrows, and my eyebrows need a little bit of extra help with filling them in. It's not just filling in sparse areas, it's actually creating the shape that I want. My natural brows kind of look like little rainbows sitting on my face, so I go in and I correct that by drawing the shape that I prefer. I'm basically just freehanding the shape of the eyebrow that I want, and I just do short, light strokes and then go back and forth between that and using the spoolie to blend it out until I get the shape that I want. Then just to go one extra step, I'm taking the NYX Eyebrow Cake Powder in Blonde just to fill in my brows a little bit better so they look a little bit more put together. Then as for the brush that I'm using, I believe I got it from one of my Ipsy bags a couple months ago, but to be honest, it looks like one you could just get from Michael's. Then with the star of this show, which is the Morphe 35F palette, I'm taking this bottom left color, which is a matte peachy shade, and I'm going to put this right into the crease and blend it back and forth and use this as a transition color. This way the colors that I use after this will blend nicely without any kind of blending problems or any harsh lines. Then going back into the 35F palette, I'm taking this soft brown color that has a little bit of a cool undertone to it and using another no-name brush that I got from an Ipsy bag. It's kind of a dupe for a MAC 217, so if you have a MAC 217 or a brush similar to that, that would be perfect. So I'm going right over where that transition shade was, just going back and forth into the crease just to add a little bit more depth. Now I'm switching over to the Tartelette palette, and I'm taking Multitasker, which is a medium brown, and I'm using the same brush as before and adding that to the outer half of my eye. I'm starting off in the very outer corner and moving towards the inner part of the eye, and I'm blending as I'm doing this. And also blending into the crease just so that it doesn't create any harsh lines. I feel like the darker colors in this palette don't blend that great, so I have to be careful when I'm applying the colors. Now going back to the 35F palette, I'm taking this kind of gunmetal grayish color that has a little bit of green undertone to it. And I start off using this small shader brush, but it just was not working well enough. so I switched and used my finger instead. I noticed that not all the shadows in this palette work that great with a brush, and sometimes they just work better when you use your finger. They swatch beautifully, especially when you're swatching them with your fingers, and then you go to use a brush and the pigmentation just doesn't show as well. So if you have that problem, I recommend just applying the color with your finger, then blending with the brush. Going back with Multitasker from the Tartelette palette, I'm now using a MAC 222 brush to apply this to the outer corner and a little bit into the crease. I switched brushes just because this one is a little bit more tapered and I'm able to get the color exactly where I want it. Now with a rounded blending brush, I'm just going over the crease again just to make sure everything is well blended. Now going back to the 35F palette, I'm going to take this golden frosted color at the top, and I'm going to take that with my middle finger and just tap that into the middle of my lid and then blend it out a little bit with my finger. I'm going to do that on both sides, and this is just going to add a little bit of dimension and a little bit of glow and highlight. It's just going to make it look a lot prettier. Now we're going back to the Tartelette palette again. We're going back and forth, and now I'm using this color at the top called Free Spirit, which I'm going to use as a highlight under my brow, but then I'm also going to turn my shadow brush to the side so that it helps blend this color with that peachy shade that's in the crease. That first color went a little high up into the crease, so doing this will help blend the two colors together so they look seamless. Now I'm taking a duo fiber brush from MAC and I'm brushing away any excess of the RCMA powder that may be left behind. I left it on there for so long that it actually just really baked into my skin and there wasn't that much left. And also with blending the eyeshadows, the powder tends to fall also. Now we're going to do some winged eyeliner, and I'm using the Maybelline gel eyeliner in black. And to be honest, I haven't used gel eyeliner in probably a year. I have been strictly using liquid, but for some reason for this tutorial I decided to start using gel again, which probably wasn't the best idea because it took me forever. Then I'm applying a coat of mascara using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara just on the top lashes to prep for my false lashes, which are coming on next. These are the Kiss Natural Flourish Blooming Lash in Daisy. This was the first time I've ever used this brand of lashes. Once I got them on, I actually really liked them. I thought they were very comfortable, but they were a little difficult to get on because the band was kind of flimsy. But once I got them on, they were super comfortable and I couldn't even feel them. So like I said, once you get them on, they're good to go. Now I'm taking that same black gel eyeliner and just going over the band of the lashes to hide it. Now I'm using a black pencil liner from Kat Von D to tightline my eyes. And I love doing this because it makes it so it's seamless between your winged eyeliner, the eyelashes, and everything just looks solid and black and you don't see any open skin. Going back with the Tartelette palette, I'm taking Multitasker again, which was that medium brown eyeshadow. And using a flat definer brush, I'm just applying this all along the bottom lash line and then blending that with my finger. I also took that black eyeliner pencil and put that into my waterline as well. Somehow that didn't end up in my clips. And then going back with that silvery frost eyeshadow that was on the lid, I'm adding more of that to my bottom waterline. Then taking this super frosty white creamy eyeshadow from the 35F palette, and I'm taking a small shader brush and adding that to the inner corners of my eye. And I'm taking a little bit of that and also adding it under my brow just to give it a little bit of a highlight. This eyeshadow is very pigmented though, so again I'm taking my fingers and helping blend that out. I'm using my fingers a lot in this tutorial, but I feel like they just help really well when you're blending small areas, and it's just, sometimes it's easier than grabbing a brush when you can just do it with your finger really quickly. Now for the bottom lashes, I love using the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara for my bottom lashes just because the bristles or the head of the mascara is so small that it's so easy to get in there and it doesn't smudge and it separates really well. I feel like it's just perfect. Now I'm going to contour, and to do that I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, which smells so good. If you haven't tried this, you definitely should. Not only because it smells really good, but I really like the color as well. I feel like it blends really nicely and I just love it. So I'm using the e.l.f. blush brush to apply this around my forehead, into my hairline, along the hollows of my cheeks, and along my jawline. For blush, I'm using the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Exposed. I've seriously had this blush for so long and it's still one of my favorites. And I'm just using a blush brush from Target. I don't even know what brand it is. It's probably their own brand. I really should get some more brushes that I know the names of because it's making this a little difficult. For highlight, I'm using the Revolution Vivid Baked Highlighter in Radiant Lights. I've only seen this brand sold at Ulta, so I would check there if you're interested in this highlighter. But I'm just applying this with another like eyeshadow blender brush, and I'm applying this all along my cheekbones, a little bit on the tip of my nose, and then on my Cupid's bow as well. These highlighters by Makeup Revolution are actually really good. I have another one by the same brand, and I think they're like $6, so they're definitely worth trying out if you're interested in getting an inexpensive highlighter. Now I'm lining my lips with a NYX lip liner pencil in Natural. So I'm first starting by outlining my lip and then just coloring in or filling in the rest of my lips. Then on top, I'm using Dose of Colors Matte Liquid Lipstick in Truffle, and this is one of my everyday colors. I use this all the time, especially to work. I feel like it's good to wear anywhere that you go. So I'm just going to add one thin layer of this because I notice if I add too much of it, then it starts to break up or cracks on my lips. So one thin layer and I'm good to go. Then to finish everything off, I'm going to take Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Just a few sprays of that and we are done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if there's any tutorials that you would like to see or any other videos. Other than that, leave those down in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and I will see you guys next time.